Hello, good morning students. Here sir with a new video for class 7th SST and Personal Geography chapter 2 Our Earth part 1. Students, in previous videos we have been discussed on some topics of Earth's layer. Today we are going to discuss structure of the interior of the Earth. In previous chapter we discussed about the outer parts of the Earth, that was lithosphere, biosphere, hydrosphere. So now today we are going to discuss about the structure of the interior of the Earth. Students, as you see on the board, I have made a graph of our Earth, figure of our Earth, and in that I have seen the old portions which are written in your book. When you see the Earth is like an onion shape, and in onion you see that there is a solid inner core. Students, this is our Earth and this is center part of Earth, and that is solid inner core. And a part of that, if we see upper of that, liquid outer core, upper of that, this is liquid, this totally is liquid outer core, after the solid inner core in center. And after that we see, students, there is mantle, M-A-N-T-L-E, after liquid outer core. And after that we see the thinnest layer of the Earth and topmost layer of the Earth, crust, to whom we say also lithosphere. In previous chapter we see. So students, structure of the interior of the Earth. What is there? The Earth has a structure like that of an onion. It is made up of 3 concentric layers. What is concentric layers, students? If you see on the board, that means the layers that emerge out of a common center. What I said previously, students, our Earth is like an onion. In that there is some layers on the center, and these layers emerged all outside, and there is common center, the layers that emerge out of a common center. There is common center for all layers. Firstly, it is started from liquid outer, solid inner core, then there is liquid outer core, then there is mantle core, and then there is crust core. So students, today we will discuss about all these topics furtherly. And firstly we see concentric layers. That means this whole structure of interior Earth is like a concentric layers. That means the layer that emerge out of a common center. There is a common center, and these all layers are emerging out of this common center. That means concentric layers. So in our Earth, all layers of interior Earth is concentric. That means going up to center side. All centers have been connected, all layers have been connected to the center, this solid inner core. So arrange one inside the other, and crust, mantle and core, these core are this 3 layers are there. What is crust? The crust is the upper and outermost layer of the Earth. It is relatively thinner than the other 2 layers. The outermost layer is also called the lithosphere, which is divided into oceanic crust and continental crust. So students, as you see on your board, I have been colored this region and area that is of Earth, and this is your thinnest core, thinnest layer of the Earth, that is crust. And in crust we also say this outer topmost part of the soil of the Earth, that is lithosphere. So which is divided into oceanic crust and continental crust. This is also divided into 2 parts. First is oceanic crust and second is continental crust. So by the name, students, we can understand what is oceanic crust. Crust that is in the ocean. Beneath means in the ocean, and inside the water of ocean, that is oceanic crust. This is totally about the crust. Okay, two parts. First was oceanic crust. The inner part, the layer beneath the oceans is known as the oceanic crust and forms the lower part of the crust. That is lower part of this crust. And if we see about the thickness of that part, this is 5 to 8 kilometer thick. Students, the inner part of the crust layer, that is oceanic. The crust you can see and understand by the word that the crust which is in the sea, okay, under the sea is oceanic crust, and this is up to 5 to 8 kilometer thick. And after that, this upper layer is known as continental crust. We got continental used here because this is the upper part of our land. So it is thinner and the thickness varies from 5 to 8 kilometers. This is our oceanic crust, and about we see the continental, the crust forms the upper part, it is about 35 kilometer thick, and this whole upper part that we call continental crust, that is 35 kilometer thick. Okay students, then we see various minerals are found in the earth crust. The landmass of continental crust is called Sial because it is made up of minerals such as silica and alumina. So students, the landmass of continental crust is called Sial. That that 35 kilometer upper landmass is called Sial because the word Sial is part of two words. First is silica and A means aluminium. Students, as you know about aluminium and silica, most of sand, sand which is silica and aluminium, there is aluminium wire, you can understand. So these two metal are in the upper side of this layer, that is continental crust of upper side of the crust, and 35 kilometer layer of silica and aluminium. And beneath this and under this we see the 5 to 8 kilometer layer is of, that is Sial. The name of this upper layer is Sial. The landmass of that whole area of 30 kilometer 5 thick is called Sial, that is silica and aluminium. And under of this area, that is Sima, that is silica, Si. Si means silica, silica is metal, and Ma means magnesium. So these two metals are in inner core or the under core of crust. So that is why the name is there, Sial and Sima, by both metal. If we see about mantle, that is inner part, lower part of crust. After crust, the inner part is mantle. What is mantle? The layer that lies just below the earth crust is called mantle. It is about 2,900 km in thickness. Dense and heavy materials such as iron, ferrous and magnesium Mg are a part of this layer. It accounts for 84% of the earth's total volume. So students, it is very important to understand that this area, that means mantle, is the lower part of earth crust or just lies below the earth crust. It is about 2,900 km in thickness. Dense and heavy materials. Some heavy materials are in here or belongs to here. And we see what are that materials, that are iron, that Fe, if we see in chemical formula, that is magnesium Mg, are a part of this layer. It accounts for 84% of the Earth's total volume. That means this mantle area, this layer of Earth, second layer of Earth after crust, is taking 84% of the total volume of the Earth. So the total volume and height of the earth is 84% is that second course, that is mantle core and layer. After the students, mantle is also divided into two layers, upper mantle and lower mantle. Magma is found in the upper part of the mantle and the lower part of the crust. So students, magma, what is magma? After the volcanic eruptions, magma, lava, forms of lava erupted and has been erupted outside, and that magma has been collected near the crust or lower side of the crust and upper side of the mantle, between those. So what happens then? It is a hot, and so magma is found up. There are two parts in this mantle layer, upper part and lower part. And magma is found upper part of the mantle and lower part of the crust. Here, between the crust and mantle, magma, lava has been founded, and we see it is a hot and molten mass which, when escapes to the surface, is called lava. The lower mantle is more viscous. If we see, this lower mantle is more viscous, we can say more fluid. Okay, what is viscosity and fluidity? That means the percentage of aqueous solution, or we can say water, percentage of liquid is increased in this area, lower part of mantle. And if we see upper part of mantle, there are so many metals like ferrous and magnesium, and we see it is hot and molten mass. That means melted. Molten means melted or melt. Okay, so this is totally melt mass belongs there, and it is hot because it is part of volcanic eruption, just like magma and lava. And this all surface, when escapes from this lower side to upper side, this all becomes lava here, under the crust and upper side of the mantle. Core, last layer is core, the inner side. The core is the innermost layer of the earth that lies just below the mantle. It is about 3,500 km in thickness. It consists of the outer core and inner core. This last, solid inner core is there and nearby that area. These two inner core, upper and lower inner core are there. We can say outer and inner. And the inner core is a solid metal core called knife because it composed nickel and iron. So this upper side, we can say liquid outer core. There is liquid outer core and nearby that solid inner core. So this liquid outer core is of two materials or two metals, that is nickel and iron. So this area is known as NiFe, that is nickel and ferrous, and iron. So in upper metal, upper liquid outer core of last core, that is last layer of earth, that is core, there is upper core and inner core. Upper liquid core consists two metal, nickel and ferrous, and inner core, solid inner core consists which metals? We see it consists, the outer core is liquid, the inner core is solid metal called half. So this inner core is solid metal of nickel and ferrous. This inner core is of nickel and ferrous, that means iron, this inner core. And if we see that outer core, so what is outer core? The outer core is a liquid molten layer comprising nickel and iron. So this is solid nickel and iron metals, and after that upper side of this inner core is liquid outer core, and at the same time this is liquid of nickel and iron. Okay, here it is liquid of nickel and iron in the solid inner core, and here it is here it is solid of the iron and nickel, and here it is liquid of the iron and nickel. And this figure is also shown in your course book on page number 12. I am writing on page number 12, students. So you have to open that page this time also. And if we see After that, the temperature and pressure of the central core are very high. So as usual, because it is the inner core of the earth, so the temperature and pressure is very high in that region. Do you know that the earth is constantly undergoing changes inside and outside? Therefore, it is called dynamic planet. As we go deeper and deeper inside the earth, the temperature and pressure increase considerably. Hence, it is quite difficult to go the center of the earth. So, we can say our earth is dynamic planet because so many changes. If you see the word meaning of dynamic, that is constantly changing. If there is continuous changing and constantly changing, we can say it is dynamic. So our earth is dynamic planet and some changes are constantly happens there. And if we see rocks and minerals, our next topic, rocks are solid materials and found in the earth crust. So all rocks are found in the earth crust, upper side of the upper layer of earth. There are natural aggregates of minerals which can be either as hard as granite or as soft as clay. So if we see, students, so rocks are minerals found in the earth crust. So in this earth crust, rocks are founded. They are natural aggregates of minerals which can be either as hard as granite or soft as clay. So as students, you have to know these all mountains and rocks are form of metals. If they are in liquid form, if they can be in solid forms. So if they are in liquid forms, we can feel just a clay. We can see as a clay to it. And if it is in solid form, it is rocks, or as granite. There is granite stone. So it is as hard as granite and as soft as clay. That means mud. So granite is also a hard material. So you have to understand carbon. So minerals are those naturally occurring solid substances that have a definite chemical composition. They may contain one or more than one element. They may vary in physical properties such as color, texture and luster. Minerals are either metallic or non-metallic. Hematite, gold and chalcopyrite are examples of metallic minerals. Limestone, mica, gypsum are a few non-metallic minerals. Students, if we talk about minerals, what are minerals? Substances that have a definite composition. What is composition? Some elements could be in compound, or some composition of elements. Some elements are gathered with each other. So that definite composition, there is definite chemical composition. We can say all that solid substances minerals. There are two types of minerals. Minerals are solid substances which are found in earth crust, and if we see, they vary in physical properties such as color, texture and luster, but some minerals are either metallic or non-metallic. So if we classified the minerals and classified what are the difference in different minerals, we have to classify in two forms. First would be metallic forms and second would be non-metallic forms. If there is metal like gold, silver and anything, copper, so there is metallic minerals, and if there is non-metallic just like limestone, mica, gypsum, these all are non-metal. So if there is non-metal, so there is non-metallic minerals, and if there is metal, that is metallic minerals, and both are same minerals because both are solid substances which have a definite chemical composition. What is minerals? Students, you can write in definition, definite chemical composition. Students, definite chemical composition is minerals, and in there are two parts, metallic and non-metallic. Okay. If we can see the difference of metal and non-metal, there are many classification. If you put the metal from upside on the top of earth, some sound will be there. If there is no sound, it is not metal. You can differentiate it like that. If we see types of rocks, life exists on the crust of the earth. It consists in different types of rocks based on process of formation. Rocks can be classified into 3 categories, that is igneous, sedimentary, metamorphic. Students, we have been discussing in every class also, there are 3 types of rocks: igneous, sedimentary and metamorphic. What are igneous? The word igneous means fire, which is igneous in Latin. Fire, which means igneous in Latin. Igneous rocks are formed by cooling and solidification of the magma that lies beneath the earth's surface. So the word igneous means fire in Latin. Igneous rocks are formed by cooling and solidification of the magma. So as we know, in the inner part of the earth always has been volcanic eruptions had been occurred, and by that magma comes from upper side, and when it comes at cold position, then it becomes what it becomes. It becomes solid, and magma comes out through cracks in earth crust or during volcanic eruptions in the form of lava. When lava comes upside, it becomes solid by cooling there. And igneous rocks are known as also primary rocks, since they are the first to be formed. All other rock types originate from igneous rock. These are characteristics of igneous other rocks. So firstly, rocks has been generated as igneous because lava comes to outside and the upper side of mantle layer and crust. Igneous rocks has been founded. So if we see, they are primary rocks because the formation of other rocks started by igneous. First, all rocks would become igneous, and after that it would be change its form. So they are hard and compact. They do not have remains of plants and animals or animals. Iron, gold, silver and aluminum are found in these rocks. If we see, so they are hard and compact. They do not have remains of plants or animals. So in igneous rocks, so as totally is eruption of volcanoes and has been solid parts of lava, so there is no animal contact or remain of plants or animals. Iron, gold, silver and aluminum are found in these rocks. So the hard metals like iron, gold and silver and aluminum are found in these rocks. Students, there are 2 types of igneous rocks: intrusive and extrusive. Students, this would be seen in another video. For today, this was our topic. In homework, you have to write about 3 layers of earth and how it forms, difference of them, and rocks and minerals. Students, we will meet in next video. Till then, have a nice day. Thank you.